Hello, guys. It is Faded here, the commissioner of the GDL, and I'll be presenting to you week two battles. There were two, unfortunately, battles that were not fought, and activity wins were gained by Brita and Blaze. Today, we'll be showing you VJ versus Master Jashin. Jashin brings a team of Dragonite, Heliolisk, Klefki, Pelipper, Toxicroak, and Ludicolo, while VJ's very threatening team brings Tapu Koko, Hawlucha, Roserade, Hydreigon, Mamoswine, and Vaporeon. Two things that I see on VJ's team to completely break down Jashin's team is Tapu Koko and the Hawlucha, as I'm pretty sure nothing on the opponent's team can really outspeed a Hawlucha after an unburdened boost. Hawlucha also effectively breaks down everything on his team with the right coverage, but so does Tapu Koko. There's no switches to Thunderbolt. The healer list can come in maybe once or twice, but after a while it'll be easy to predict and just use Dazzling Gleam, and his team gets completely decimated by Tapu Koko. But we'll see how the game goes. And here we have a lead of Tapu Koko, of course, and Pelipper. And here Jashin is really just trying to get his rain on. So the rest of his team is helped by, as I said, here comes the Heliolisk, but VJ easily just full switches out of there into Hydreigon. There's not much a Heliolisk can do here but Hyper Voice, and that won't be doing too much. Oh, so Dragon Pulses, sorry, and that does a lot of damage, but VJ just U-turns there. It is a very Volt turn kind of team. The Dry Skin coming in very helpful for that Heliolisk to gain damage. Here comes in the Dragonite, which was a very awkward play here. I have no idea why Mamoswine left on a Surf. But then he goes into Dragonite, but if he would have Icicle crashed, his Dragonite is useless. But he goes into Vaporeon. So I'm not very sure what happened here, but it was a play nonetheless. So Jashin just Dragon Dances, Vaporeon Ice Beams as probably seen, and it crits. Don't know why that didn't go to 1%. It's a very strong hit. And he Z's here, but into the Protect, which probably wasn't worth it, but it still does massive damage. Here we see the Leftovers recovery and the Electric Terrain go out, and Earthquake just picks off the Vaporeon. Here, Mamoswine comes in as expected, and it either Ice Shards, but it gets outsped, and its probable Sash was knocked off for the Stealth Rocks, and there goes the Dragonite. So, looking to be very good for Tapu Koko, as Dragonite, something that could have got it, is now down. The Klefki comes in. I'm pretty sure it sets up spikes, and spikes are very threatening on VJ's team because mostly everything is grounded. Here comes in the Pelipper. No idea why that happened. A Thunderbolt or any type of Thunder type move or Electric type move would have came out here, but VJ just brings in the Rose Raid. Very sad play that the Pelipper dies in one hit. And here he shows the HP Fire or Flying. I don't know why he brings the HP Fire, as he is the Rain team. And if he was HP Flying, that was very low damage. That Dry Skin coming in useful. So here he goes and Toxicroak. Very good play, but VJ just throws a Leech Seed, which is a arguably better play. He could have the HP Ground, but it seems to be faster. This could be, it is a defensive Rose Raid, and that Poison Jab did so much damage for being a defensive Rose Raid. The Rain is here, almost gonna go out, and the Drain Punch for the Poison Jab, sorry, and he puts him to sleep. So his set is out. It's Sleep Powder, Spike, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, which cannot do much versus a Toxicroak. Here comes in the Klefki, probably to take the Giga Drain or just to stop the Rose Raid. And probably get his own spikes. Oh, I forgot. Klefki gets Defog. That's very weird. I didn't see that coming. And he Leech Seeds but misses, sadly. And we see Jashin put up his own spikes, and VJ just trying to get chip damage on the Klefki, and the rain finally stopped. So the Ludicolo is now basically useless unless you brought Rain Dance on the Klefki, which hasn't been shown yet. And they're just throwing hazards at each other at this point. We finally see a switch, and it probably... Oh, he spikes up again. And there goes the HP fire, and I don't know what it is. It did the same amount as the rain up, so I don't believe it's an HP fire, maybe an HP flying. But anyways, the roast rate takes it down. Here comes in the Toxicroak. Here Polly throws a leech seed. Oh, very great play. As it does is Lucero is immune to the leech seed. Except I don't see what type of damage this could do, the knockoff. Very interesting. Could be a physical Ludicolo, which I've tried to use before, but it just doesn't work out. Oh yes, it is a physical Ludicolo, and it ice punches, and it does... Oh, and there goes the crit, possibly allowing the Rose Ray to live a hit. The Rose Ray is just putting in so much work, and it finally goes down. So Ludicolo wasn't as useless as I believed, and comes in the Tapu Koko and just wreaks havoc with the Thunderbolt. There isn't much that can take a Thunderbolt on Jashin's team. Oh, it Volt switches. I wonder if he did have the Thunderbolt, or if he just wants to claim kills for another Pokemon. Ice Shard probably picks off the Klefki at this point, as it doesn't, but there's not much Klefki can do. Oh, it does go down to a Dazzling Gleam. I predict the Tapu Koko to come in. I don't understand why he Volt switched. Thunderbolt probably would have taken it out earlier. And this is probably the end of the match. Just Thunderbolt KOs both Ludicolo and the Toxicroak. There wasn't very much that Jashin could really do to stop the Tapu Koko. All VJ had to do was weaken with hazards, and Tapu Koko basically cleaned up. Well, that's going to be a 3-0 for VJ. Some things I want to say. Of course, the Tapu Koko was very, very threatening on Jashin's team. There was nothing he could do to take out the Tapu Koko. A couple of awkward plays, but basically this was a very great game on VJ's part. Next game is Sonic Arpika versus Snorby. Snorby's team is very threatening. Of course, there is the Crags there to stop the Zygarde, but Zygarde looks to be taking kills here in this game. So let's play the game. So the leads are Jirachi and Ninetales Alola, probably trying to get up that Aurora very early on, but he Dark Pulses, and Snarby shows the Culver Berry, which is very interesting play here. Dark Pulse wasn't probably doing too much, but it does some nice chip for the Absol or any other Pokemon to come in and take down the Jirachi. And in comes in the Conkeldurr, which weird play because it could have Zen Headbutt, and he decides to bulk up. The Mach Punch can probably... Oh, yeah. The Hail takes out his own Pokemon, which is pretty sad. And now comes in the Absol, which can probably still do some damage. Here it Mega Evolves. And the SD is very threatening play. But Keldeo here could be Choice Scarf and be possibly faster than this. Yes, it is the Choice Scarfed Keldeo, and takes out the Absol. And the hail finally stops. Here comes in what I think should have came in earlier is the Superior, and here could be a Leaf Storm, which does so much damage to Diancie. And it Mega Evolves. It takes it's faster. I forgot. Oh my gosh. And this looks very threatening to Snorby. He does have a couple of things that could come in, such as Zapdos and Jirachi, but here he just Dragon Pulses, which is very great play. It's probably the only play he has, and Zapdos takes out with Ice Beam. Sorry about that. And Snorri even says 2 kills. So now it's looking very threatening. The here comes in the Keldeo, and I think it does not take it out, or it does. Okay, it does. I thought Superior was way more bulkier than that. And comes in the Quagsire, and he could just throw Toxic here, as I believe he does. But that Tapu Bulu is looking very threatening now. Oh, he stockpiles. Very interesting play. Oh, and the Tapu Bulu substitutes. Wow, I think he does stockpile. Oh, he yawns. Well, yawn was a very good play. But here the Tapu Bulu is just going to clean up with the Horn Leech as it decimates the Quagsire and comes in. Lastly, Jolteon, and it Shadow Balls. It does break this up, but it's in vain as the Hornleash just absolutely blows back the Jolteon. This was a 4-0 in Snorby's favor, and it was a very great game, except just Snorby had too many things for Sonic to really cover in a game. On to the next game. Here we have Miso who versus Aragon, and really Aragon's team looks quite balanced, and I don't know, just I think Miso's appearance of the team looked kind of weak, but let's go into it. So they do lead Xerxetry and Clefable. Here he could just easily Z Hypnosis and probably end the game, but I think something we discussed is that Xerxetry was not Z move, which was surprising on me on my part, but here comes in Drapion and does knock off the Clefable, which is good because Clefable can stall out quite a couple of things on Aragon's team. Here comes in the Nidoqueen, probably trying to get that Earth Power on or that Ice Beam, but the Gliscor does switches in case of the Earth Power, as it does happen, and Gliscor gets its Toxic Orb, and he Tailwinds. Interesting tech, and of course the Ice Beam completely decimates the Gliscor. Here comes in the Rotom Wash to pot. There's not much Nidoqueen can hit, but comes in the Serena as he Hydro Pumps, which is a very kind of obvious play. Here comes in the Venusaur because it could take any hit from the Serena, but it U-turns, and Tornadus Therian comes in. This basically hurricanes on anything. It does a lot of damage, but Miso just U-turns, which is a very smart play to bring in the Serena. The Tailwind is gonna just peter out. Here comes in the Heatran, and for some reason he brings that head, but might have been for the Venusaur, but it wouldn't have done much damage unless Serena's a lot stronger. But Heatran does knock it out with the Magma Storm, a critical hit. I don't know if that mattered, but I don't think so. Here the Tornadus just knocks off, but it does not kill the Heatran. But the Heatran does miss its Magma Storm. Pretty bad hacks right there. Yeah, they say sad face in the chat. I was also surprised the knockoff did not kill. Here comes in the Xerxetry, but a Z Hurricane is going to do a lot of damage to Xerxetry. Here he could Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. He ups the Thunderbolt, which does take out the Tornadus. This is going to be interesting, as if he's Choice Specs, it's very diminishing for him, as he probably does. That's the reason why he switches. And we see a Toxic Zeraora. Very interesting set. Of course, you're probably thinking that the Zeraora is more offensively based, but it's really fast and does have a lot of status moves. Here, Will-O-Wisp trying to get that chip damage on Zeraora, but the Clefable does switch in with the Magic Guard to help. Here comes in Drapion, the basically the best switch in for Clefable right now. And he does bring in Nidoqueen just to freely Earth Power anything. Sadly, all the hacks is on Aragon this week. He does Sludge Wave, very great play, as he didn't want to lose his Drapion for the Clefable during this match. And comes into Latios. There isn't much Rotom can do to Latios. Does pitiful damage with the Hydro Pump, and probably even less damage with the Volt Switch. Here, Latios just tries to HP Ground, and it doesn't work out as Rotom has Levitate. I'm not sure what he was trying to catch. He was trying to catch a Drapion, but the Drapion is pretty bulky. And here he just roosts, and Aragon does get the burn on Latios, which can be helpful as it brings Chip on the Latios, which is very needed. Comes into Venusaur, although I think a Psychic just takes down this Venusaur, as it does a lot of damage, but does not completely take it out. A Sludge Bomb does pretty good damage, but it won't be enough to take down the Latios. But now Aragon does switch into the Drapion, but Latias just roosts. Here I can see a knockoff or a switch. The HP ground does, as predicted, not much damage. And it has the Culver Berry, but that knockoff does so much. Knockoff is probably still going to do a bunch of damage to this Latios. Oh, he has Night Slash, which does even more than the unboosted knockoff, which is pretty great prep on Aragon. But Miso's just going to bring in the Zeraora, which tanks the hit pretty well. I did not expect that. And Plasma Fist just probably, as Plasma Fist just knocks out the Venusaur here. And comes in the Circuitry, yes. And there's not much Circuitry can do here. But strange play of Toxicking the Circuitry here. I'm not sure if Close Combat would have done enough damage or if any other coverage move would have killed it. And it turns out that Circuitry is not choice specs, which is a bit interesting to me. I would probably have to ask Aragon what was the point of that. Not in a condescending way, but just to know the set. Nidoqueen does just finish it off with the Earth Power, and this is a GG. And Nidoqueen, of course, takes down the Drapion for that 4-0 for Miso. On to the next battle. It's me versus Finnyburst, which is Wepa. And here, I was so scared of the Mew, but as we talked late into the game, it probably wouldn't have done much to my team anyways. So here we begin the game. I lead out Infernape. Well, he leads the Dodrio. Here, I go into my Tapu Fini, but I made it physically defensive with the Rocky Helmet. Except, as you're about to see, this Choice Banded or Choice Scarfed, I forget what it is, does over 50% to almost fully physically off defensive Tapu Fini. So he does question like what happened there, but in comes in my Choice Scarfed Infernape. It does take it out, so it makes me believe that it is a Choice Band or it's Choice Scarf but adamant. So in comes in the Incineroar, probably thinking that it is in fact Choice Scarf, and I'm locked into the Flare Bits. Here he knocks off, which is very great play. He probably saw me coming into it. And here I play dumb, and I tox a Thunder Wave. Yes, it was so bad. I forgot that the Misty Terrain was still up. I try attack, do get the crit, which is pretty good. Makes me think that it is an Assault Vest Incineroar, which is probably its best set. But here I just come in, and nothing here takes a close combat very well, and just completely decimates the Cryogonal. The Galvantula probably should have came in, but it would have still taken a lot of damage, as he does bring in the Galvantula. Here I switch into my Muckalilla, which is an Assault Vest Muck. No idea why I think he HPI's thinking that I would go into Landorus Eye, but it just wasn't suitable for me. I knock off. His Life Orb is gone, and I do get the unfortunate Poison, which is terrible. But I did choose Poison Touch over any other ability. Here, of course, the scary thing is he comes in and Shell Smashes. I didn't have much to prep for this, but I did. That's why I brought the Assault Vest Muck. But in my good prep, I do pack the Clear Smog. But first, I knock off, even though I know it's a Z user, and I just totally got a brain fart there. He Breakneck Blitz. That was probably the Z Hyper Beam. I have no idea why he brought that. It was probably maybe for the Tapu Fini if I made it Spadef, but I opted against that. And here I just do Clear Smog. It does pretty good damage, just to get rid of his stat changes. And here he does switches into the Registeel to keep it alive. And of course, Poison Jab is immune, and he just takes me out with the Seismic Toss. Here, just Sandman comes into Landorus. calm minds on the. I did not predict this. All right, I thought an ice punch was coming to my face, because this is what. But I thought he'd prep the ice punch or pack the ice punch on Registeel for the Landers. But as it turns out, he brought counter. I was going to bring Earthquake on this. It was a last second thing. I changed this minutes before the battle. I thought Calm Mind would just be more useful, as he would bring the Assault Vest Incineroar, but it'd still be doing a lot of damage because I did pack the Life Orb. And so I just take the turn to Calm Mind again, as I knew he was not gonna make the same mistake as Toxic or Protect as it go down. I brought here the HP Flying. I should have just Earth Power, but I just wanted to show my hidden power. And here comes Incineroar with the Assault Vest. It just absolutely takes it down. And yes, I almost clicked Calm Mind during the battle. I was hovering over it. But anyways, the Earth Power is just going to take down the Registeel, and it is a 3-0 win for me. Well, thank you guys for watching. There were some very great battles and some turns where I believe there were very awkward switches and stuff like that. But I'm going to wrap it here today. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next week.